Good evening. Welcome to another fun-filled night here on Spirit Connections, the summer edition. I'm so excited about these summer editions because they're only half-hour shows and they go by so quick, so I feel like I have to talk a lot and I'm loud and obnoxious, so I apologize for that. But thank you for tuning in again. Tonight I have the wonderful Miss Joanne Woods Young on. Yay! How are you?
Good, thank you, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm doing very well, very well. It's different from the last time you've been on Spirit Connections.
Absolutely. It's great. It's wonderful here.
It's funny because before it was all my spare bedroom in my apartment. Right. And now we have this beautiful house around us, so I think it's absolutely amazing.
It is. It is.
So, I wanted to have you on because I know you're doing a lot of different things. Before when we were on, you were on, we talked about Reiki, we talked about angel card readings, and you have just grown and blossomed. So what is new with you?
Well, there's a few things that are new. And yes, I was doing angel card readings, I was teaching Reiki, teaching meditation, and I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I loved all of it. I still do. But I think I've just progressed into something different because I realize what I really do with my intuition is I want to get people to realize that they have some healing to do or fix something, not fix something, but figure out something that they want to know at a deeper level. So maybe they're coming into me for a reading or for some kind of a healing around something going on in their lives, like maybe they want to find out if they're going to get married, if they're going to get a job, just how things are going. But usually I can easily tap into what's really going on underneath the surface, what they may need to heal, issues from their past, patterns that keep happening. So then I tune into that and we end up talking about that, and that's where my counseling skills really come in. So I do this other thing called core counseling, which gets you right to the root of the issue. Whatever issue you're dealing with, whatever pattern you have, or whatever long-standing issue is going on currently in your life, we get right to the root of that. So basically I'm taking my business to more of that level of counseling, empowerment, and helping people heal from the inside, within themselves, so they know they have all the answers.
That's a breath of fresh air. Because it all starts within, and I think that's one of the toughest things to do is because, and I always try to explain the difference between need and want is we're always given the information that we need to hear, not necessarily information that we want to hear, so it might take us a little time.
Absolutely.
So now how do you go about doing something like that?
Well, now what I've been doing, when I was doing my business, which I still have, my business is still open, I'm still seeing clients that I've seen for a long time or people that are calling. There's a few new people that I have been seeing, but basically I'm trying to shift some things. I'm creating a new website. I'm doing some new marketing, kind of recreating myself essentially is what I'm doing just in the marketplace. And maybe my marketplace isn't the same as it used to be. It may not be the same group of people, the same kind of places that I've targeted before. So I may be moving some of that online. I want to do more of an online business where people can contact me through Skype or through the phone and then do in-person sessions as well. But it's all sort of unclear right now. So what was the question you asked me again?
I don't know. It's summertime, and all I can think about is margaritas.
Yes. Well, it's like this. Let me give you an example of what happened the other evening. I have sort of stopped doing parties at people's houses, but somebody called me that had a private session with me and asked me to come and do readings for her and her coworkers, and I said sure. You know, somebody that I knew, we had a very good experience together, so I decided to do it. It seemed like the right thing to do. So I went to this party and I met 12 amazing women, and it wasn't about what was going on in their lives currently. I mean, some of it was, I can get that information and I gave it, but my intuition goes right to what they need to hear about healing themselves, moving forward. How can they shift themselves so they have their best life? And that just comes to me naturally. It's almost like I can see you for who you really are without all of your false beliefs, without your self-doubt. Yeah. So I feel like I can see you for the truth of who you are. I always have been able to do that with others. And so once I tell somebody that, or once I bring out in them something that they already know, then they can make the connection. And then, you know, so everybody was asking, where are you located? When can I come see you? And it's not for a reading so much as more of a deeper healing session, a deeper investigation into who they are and what drives them.
Well, because you're only allowed, especially during the parties, you're only allowed a certain amount of time, and you want to be able to emphasize more, elaborate more, and and get to the bottom of it. And I feel like since you yourself, and we just brought this up, how you're going through a big change on everything,
Yes.
I think that's probably why you're more in tune to a lot of people that could possibly be going through change themselves.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're constantly changing. It's part of life. We're constantly, you know, I don't want to say reinventing ourselves, but we're just growing.
Yes.
And with growth, there's change. So I think that's wonderful that you're able to point it out and so forth.
Thank you. Most people are very open to it because it's something that they already know.
Right.
Example, like you know why you're not moving forward in relationships, or you know maybe some reasons why you're not in the job that you really want to be in. What's really holding you back, your thoughts, your feelings, all of those things, the beliefs that we've created that aren't really true. So when I tell someone something or hit on something, that it resonates with them immediately because it's all their own inner guidance.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So now, where do we start? Where do we go from here?
Well, I'm just in the process of creating my website, so that will be up and running. I'm still around in the area, so I'm actually closing out my Stoughton location. I've been in an office in Stoughton for the last year, and that lease is ending in August, so I'm letting go of that. But I do have a home space. I've worked out of my office in my home before I ever moved out on the road. And there's other places that I may be doing some business in the Easton area. So I'm local in that area. I can do a lot of the work online, and I'm hoping to run some projects online too.
Now, have you ever thought about teleseminars?
Yes, definitely working on that. So that's funny that you mentioned that because I've come up with this. I did this program live once, and I've been working on it to recreate it over the last, say, 6 months. I've been working on it a little bit deeper. It's based on women and finding your truth, finding your freedom point, your power point with your weight, body image, and food issues. Anything related to that, it's about living now so that you're happy. I personally have had a struggle with food, weight, body image issues for the last 25 years. So just to bring it all out in the open, I've been to coaches, counselors, registered dietitians, nutritionists, everything. And I feel like I've finally got a handle on all of it. So I kind of have taken all the things that have helped me, all the things that I've learned to help other women just let go of the diet mentality. Let go of that. Realize that's not going to help you ever get to where you want to be. It's not about the diet. It's not about the food. It's about self-acceptance, self-love, and really living your life now. So this program is designed to really help you love the skin that you're in and live in the body that you're meant to be in without any more stress, without any more chronic negative talk to yourself, or not living your life because you're not at the perfect size. So there's all of that related to this. It still doesn't have a title exactly yet, but it's all coming together. So that is something that I have true passion for since it's been my biggest struggle here. I really want to help other women find peace, happiness, and joy around it so that they can live in their true power.
Well, and I think that's such, and I don't know statistics, but a lot of times, especially with women, it happens to men too, but I think especially with women, at such an early age, we are subjected to stereotypes and how we should be and how we should look and how we should act and so forth. Again, I'm not saying it's just women. I know men go through just the same.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
However, I'm a woman, so I say I can relate to, and I can see that, you know, it is a constant struggle, you know, and you have to build exactly.
Society and media play a huge part on our beliefs about ourselves, so that is a
more,
major factor.
With even more, from when I was a kid, there wasn't internet, you know, we didn't have.
Exactly.
I mean, I know that goes back pretty far, but you know, there wasn't a computer at that, or maybe there was, okay, but it's not at the rate that it's at now.
Right.
There was no Facebook, there wasn't Twitter, there wasn't Instagram or any of these other crazy apps, you know, it was just, oh, you know, you watch Dallas, which was a nighttime soap, if you remember.
Right.
I don't know if you remember.
I do, of course
okay.
I do, yeah.
You know, you watch Family Ties, that kind of stuff, and even I think some of those episodes at an earlier time, they dealt with some, you know, weight issues, appearance issues, and so forth. But for whatever reason, we are gravitated for the superficial aspect of who we are instead of the soul existence of who we actually are.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's not like it's, for most women, anybody that's dealt with this issue, it's not just, oh, I feel bad. It consumes you. It takes a lot of your energy, a lot of the energy that you could be using to do better things with your life in the world, putting out there to your family. I know for me, there are so many things that I didn't do because I didn't think I was the right size, or my whole life was focused on once for 2 years. I was at the perfect size for 2 years, but that was my whole focus. I was running 25 miles a week. I was eating only certain foods. I was obsessed with that and keeping that size, and I had so much fear around gaining weight back, which I eventually did, but during that 2-year period where I kept it off, it wasn't all that I dreamed it to be. Like, I thought once I got to my perfect size, I was going to live the perfect life.
Stressful. It is stressful because you're constantly, I mean, you think, okay, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have this M&M. And you're constantly counting calories. You're counting whatever goes in your mouth and out of your mouth. And then not only that, but, you know, oh, I had chocolate pudding and now my face is broken out. So that you're constantly putting the blame. Meanwhile, you could say, well, it's probably just hormonal and that's why your face is breaking out. But we always put the blame on other things. And there's so many intricate layers as far as self-acceptance.
Absolutely. It's probably one of the most difficult things that all of us have to do here is accept ourselves. But this program that I've designed is specifically for women who have had issues with weight, body image, and self-image due to body. So this is what I really wanted to focus on with this, to help everybody who's been where I have been and hopefully have recovered fully from. So, yeah.
And it's one step, one day at a time. And I mean, I'm sure if we were in a crowd of people and we asked everybody individually, you know, how did you, actually, talking about social media, I saw it on Facebook last week. There was this woman who was doing a documentary, and I believe she had breast cancer, and she lost her breast. So she ended up doing a documentary on people, and she went over to women, and she said, how do you view yourself? And 9 out of the 10 women that she interviewed, the very first word was something negative, like ugly, not how I want to look, you know, crooked, unbalanced. And it's like, yes, we experience these phases in our lives. Nobody is perfect. However, that shouldn't be our focus. I would never want to hear someone tell me like, oh, well, to you, you're unbalanced. To you, you're disgusting. You know, I mean, to me. So it's a constant battle, unfortunately.
It is. But it can be overcome, and people can find their worth. And you also have to look at where you got the messages from the beginning. You know, I think now with the way things are, as we just said, social media, society, the media is huge. The media is everywhere on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, all of that. You can't miss it, so it's not as bad as it was when we were teenagers. But these poor teenagers now, they have so much coming at them. They're really, unless you have very strong parents, a very strong family, and a community that supports you, it's really difficult to overcome these societal abnormalities about how we should look. So I did my master's thesis on that whole topic. It's really something that I would love to see change in the future. But I just was in the bathroom at an event. I saw 2 young high school girls come into the bathroom, both look in the mirror. I mean, they were gorgeous girls, you know, probably 16, 17 years old, and they both, one said, oh, I look so disgusting, and the other one said, oh, I'm so fat. And I was just like heartbroken. Like, this is what I'm doing, you know, this is what I'm talking about. We have to work hard to shift and make changes so that those 2 young teens don't become these 20-somethings, these 30-somethings that just continue this pattern.
And then they have children, and it goes along with their children.
Exactly.
Now, what would you tell someone if someone asked you off the street, and they came to you and they said, Joanne, what piece of advice can you give me? Because I wake up every morning and I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see. What would be? I know there's never a quick fix-all, but what type of advice would you give someone that asked that?
I would say you have to really think about what your body does for you. How has your body been to you? You know, these are all exercises and things that I've worked on too for many years, and getting into the place of realizing what your body does for you, not how it looks. How it looks is society standard. You know, if you went to a foreign country or you went to a deserted island, does it really matter how your body looks? It wouldn't be the same in another country as it is here. A deserted island, no one's going to see you. So how does your body work and function? You know, even doing something physical can be helpful. You know, I was a runner and I loved running because it made me feel strong and it made me see, wow, look at all the things my body can do. So I would tell someone to really be in their body, feel it, and look at all the things your body has done for you. Just even breathing, do something physical so that you feel the power of your body and what it's doing for you.
And you guys, it's summer outside. It's gorgeous out. It's a perfect opportunity to get out there. Whether you run, I personally don't like running. If I do, it's very short. I get anxious and I almost have an anxiety attack over it. So I go for walks. But I love walking because it's phones away, all the distractions that are at my house, they're away. Well, yes, I do bring my dog, so yes, they are a distraction. But you get to have the time for yourself to just kind of breathe in the moment and forget about the bad day at work or forget about the, you know, if you're beating yourself up about what you ate for lunch, it's which you should never do. You should enjoy your food. As my mother says, there's starving people elsewhere, so
That's
you know,
right.
you
That's
always
right.
want to enjoy everything, enjoy life.
Yes. Yeah, so that's it. And this is going to be a 10-week class, and it's going to be mainly online as a teleclass. I may do it in person around here somewhere too. I'm uncertain if I'm going to get to that place again. I may just do it through video, multimedia. There's going to be a lot to it, and it's not fully. The outline is all created and all the experiences I've had, but it's just putting it together is really the next step.
And you are primarily located in South Shore, Massachusetts,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And now how can people get in touch with you?
You can look me up through my website, which is changing, but the domain will be the same. It's joannewoodsyoung.com. So that is how you can find me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know, and that it's funny because I did find you on Facebook and I sent you a message and then it wouldn't let me deliver it. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm lucky that I had your phone number.
Right.
But I mean, I can remember, obviously we're friends and I followed you and I saw you go through the big changes of like running your first 5K, you know, and you did the Mutter run, right?
Yeah,
Didn't you?
I've done a lot. I didn't do it was the Warrior Dash. I did that,
I knew
did
it was,
that a
I'm
few
not
times.
too in touch with those, but
the ruckus. I did all that craziness, and that's great. I mean, those are, like, my husband thinks those are all just money-making things. He's into a different type of exercising, so he thinks those are all crazy, but they're fun events to do with a group. But it also lets you see, oh yeah, I can do this. You know, I can get over this wall. I can climb on these monkey bars. Whatever it was that we did, go up these huge ski mountains. It was so fun and just keeps you in a place of really appreciating your body, I think.
excellent. And a lot of things, I mean, think about how you were when you were a kid. Like, I can remember going on the monkey bars and just having no fear. And now as I'm older, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Or even just, you know, going to an amusement park and doing a roller coaster ride. Before I had no problem. Now it's like, oh, you know, I can't do that. I can't do this. And it's like, where did that transition happen from when I was 12 to now the age that I'm at now? Don't worry, you're not going to get it out of me. You know, it's just, it's getting back to basics.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, you're also a Reiki master.
Yes.
So are you going to incorporate any type of Reiki healing with this program?
I don't think so.
It's going to be completely separate.
I think it's going to be separate, yeah. I'm not really doing Reiki too much anymore. I mean, sometimes for counseling clients I may do a little bit, but I think it's more basically counseling. And my intuition, is, as you know, is just who I am. That's the thing that... having a business as an intuitive was great and is great, but it's also, I'm at this place of, that's who I am. I can do it as a business, yes, but it's more about like, this is just me and I want to be able to assist you in a way that you find growth and healing from it. Not in a way that I can tell you if you're getting married or if you are going to be getting that job. Sometimes I can do that, but you know, when I've met people who know what I do or find out what I do and they ask me questions, I'm not on all the time. I could have 12 readings and 6 may be spot on, maybe 6 aren't great, or I could have 12 readings and 12 are spot on. It's really dependent on so many variables, where you are that day, what you've eaten that day, what you've eaten the day before, how's your energy, all of those things. So I think that all of that combined puts a lot of pressure on doing it as a business. I mean, just that. So I feel like the intuitive person that I am can assist people much greater by doing it with the counseling and also figuring out what people need to know to heal themselves.
I'm happy that you brought that up because it is true. A lot of people that do the energy work, there's so many different modalities, and I always tell people, try everything out, see what you can do.
Yeah.
And again, we're consistently growing.
Exactly.
So you started out becoming a Reiki master, so did I. And that was back in 2008 when I became a Reiki master, and so I started doing that and doing meditation, and you really kind of figure out, I even dabbled in doing the angel cards too.
Yeah.
So you really kind of figure out what you're gravitated
Right.
towards.
What's the best fit for you.
Exactly. So yes, you can be an energy healer, you can help people out, but again, there's so many different types. And don't be afraid to let go of what you thought don't.
That's really great
exactly.
advice.
Don't forget to let go of what you thought you were going to be, because you are who you are. You are who you're supposed to be anyways, but that was just part of the journey.
Right. That's a perfect way to look at it. Exactly. And I think with the spiritual journey, you're always growing and changing, learning and evolving, and learning the best way to assist others. If you're here to serve, which I feel I am, you're always going to be learning the best things for you, the best way for you to be out there, you know, doing your thing. So like for you, it's mediumship. And I'm sure you've done a lot of healing with the mediumship. It's not just, oh, let me show you what I can do. Oh, yeah, I got this, I got that. You're really doing a lot of healing with that work as well, which people really who aren't grieving, of course, need. So that's a huge responsibility, and it's great that you do that. And
Thank you.
realize that that's what's best for you to do. So, yeah.
And there's never too many. And that's one thing that I say too is the area that you and I both live in, we have a lot of friends that are in the energy field. And again, whichever modality they choose, I can list you 20 mediums that I know, and I'm sure you can list,
absolutely,
20 people yourself that you're like, yep, they all do Reiki, they all do angel cards. And I think that's wonderful because it just shows that it's becoming more and more welcome, that it's not just the standard, for instance, oh, you don't like the way you look, go to the gym, go run a lap. Like, yes, that will help you, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that's going on up here, So we're kind of breaking free of the regular standards and going a little bit deeper, and I think that's why it's important to have all of us out there in the different modalities.
Absolutely, because everyone's drawn to something different too. Some people just want to be speaking with mediums. Some people want to get advice on their everyday life. Some people want counseling. So it's a great opportunity for everybody to get what they need as well.
And it's just up to you. What do you like? What do you prefer? You have the summer to do whatever you want. Most of us have a lot of vacations during the summer, so it's good to kind of take a moment to step in and figure out what's happening and what's the road that you want to be on.
Yes. That's another thing I was just thinking about since I went to did that group event the other night. All of those women were interested in spirituality, but they didn't really know any place to go. They didn't know what to do or where to start. So I always recommend Uplifting Connections as a great place since I worked there for so long.
And that's in Bridgewater.
Yes, and I love Lynn Marie. So I always recommend Uplifting. They have a lot of different classes, a lot of wonderful events as a good place to start. They sell a lot of books that will give you information on spirituality as well.
And Lynn has also been on the show.
Yes, you've probably seen her. But the other thing I was thinking is I should think about creating like a 4-week 4-week spiritual boot camp for people, so that they could just get some information. You know, I've done every class possible. I've done every retreat. I've been everywhere. If I could just take all of that information, all of the things that helped me on my spiritual journey when I first began it, put it into a little 4-week class, maybe even make that into a teleseminar or a personal live event too, for people who are on the journey, they don't know where to begin and they don't know who to go to. Just kind of combining everything into a small and, not small, a brief yet comprehensive little 4-week class. Could be 6 weeks.
And going back to the stereotype, if you call it boot camp, why don't you say 4-week CrossFit, spiritual CrossFit training?
Exactly.
Everyone's ears will perk up. Oh, CrossFit spiritual training? Yes.
Right.
Sign me up.
Right. So that's just something I thought about because I think people do need guidance on what to do when they want to start their spiritual journey, when they just feel that there's more out there for them to look at. They're getting their own inner guidance and they're not sure what to do with it or how it's actually coming in for them. That can be hugely helpful.
Excellent, excellent. And I think, again, it all goes with what you want, what you're feeling. And I think I'm so happy that you were able to come onto the show and go through this uplifting experience for yourself because, like I had mentioned, I'd contacted Joanne and she's like, well, I'm doing everything different now. And I said, okay, well, we'll talk about it.
Right.
So I'm really excited about your new endeavor and you should be really proud of yourself honoring your true self because that's huge. Not a lot of people do that. Like you said, we go and work the 9-to-5 job. We go and we're in a bad relationship because sometimes we feel like that's the easiest and we just don't know the way out.
Right.
So it takes time. It takes time, and you look like you're working it, girl.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being on Spirit Connections.
Thank you so much for having me. I love being here.
Thanks. And again, how do people reach you?
Oh, my website is joannewoodsyoung.com, and it is changing, but you can see that there. So
excellent. And again, if you guys are interested in the 10-week program, Joanne will have more information for you. So definitely contact her. Yes. And thank you for being on Spirit Connections.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.